Hello everyone. For number 35 we have another system question. In this case we're going to solve a system graphically. It wants us to graph the two functions f of x and g of x together, and then using the graph, so we can't do this algebraically, we have to state all the values of x for which f of x is equal to g of x. So state the x values for where the two functions are equal to each other. So basically we're going to, just to kind of plan out our attack here, we're going to graph f of x, which is a quadratic. It's going to look something like this, let's say. Horrible at making those by hand. And then we're going to graph the linear function. They're going to intersect maybe once, maybe they don't intersect at all, maybe twice. 0, 1, or 2 are the possibilities. And whatever the x values are at their intersections are going to be our ultimate answers. And obviously we want to make sure we label and everything like that. Okay, so let's start with f of x. I'm just going to erase this so we have some room. So for f of x, we have the function negative 2x squared, and I'm going to graph that by making a table of values. Let's write it right here. Okay, when we make a table of values for this, we want the vertex to be in the center. And I like to do around 7 values for a quadratic. I'm going to have to extend this line a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we want the very middle of this table, so right here is where we want the vertex. So how do you know where the vertex is? The vertex is, the axis of symmetry, is negative b over 2a. That will tell us the x value of the vertex. So in this case, a is negative 2, but we don't have any b value. So if no b value is there, we could think of it as 0. And without even doing the bottom, 0 over anything, it's going to be 0 over negative 4. But 0 over anything is just going to be 0. So the middle of our table should be centered when x is 0. And then we could build around that. So we'll go down by 1s, we'll go up by 1s. Okay, and we're going to find the values by using a calculator here. We could have also just skipped a step and looked for the symmetry in our calculator, but it's good to know how to do it by hand. So negative 2x squared we want 0 to be in the center, and we're going to copy those down. So obviously we're not going to be able to fit some of these in, but copy them down nonetheless. It's going to be negative 18, negative 18. See the symmetry there? Negative 8, negative 2, negative 2, negative 8, and 0, 0. That'll be easy. Okay, so we're only going to be able to plot negative 2 to 2. You can see we have like a 10 by 10 graph here, it looks like. So we're not going to be able to fit much more. Let's go to a pen. We'll do this one in red. And this is going to be a sad face parabola because of the negative sign. So negative 1, negative 2, 1, negative 2. And 2, negative 8, 8. It's kind of close. And down here. And we're going to try our best to connect this with a smooth U-shaped curve for our parabola. And we'll stick with the red. It's going to be a little hard doing this without the smartboard, but you get the general. Fix that a little bit. Okay. Decent enough for my standards, I guess. Again, you would want to do this a little bit neater. I'm doing this on my tablet where it's a little bit difficult to make as smooth as possible. And we want to label this f of x. So now for g of x will slide down here. G of x is linear. This is going to be much easier to graph. Okay, we could graph it using slope, which is the coefficient of x, mx plus b form. So the slope is 2 over 1, the y-intercept is negative 4. So I'm going to begin at negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to move up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. And I could also move down 2, back 1. Down 2, back 1. And so forth. And this will make it much easier for me. I'm going to use a straight line here to connect. Okay, and this was, of course, g of x. Okay, so now we're looking for the intersection. Let me just label this g of x. And now we want to identify where they intersect. So they intersect, we can see nicely right here and also right here. So they intersect at 1, negative 2. Let's just scroll down. They intersect at 1, negative 2 and negative 2, negative 8. So it wanted the x values, all the values for x for which the two functions are equal to each other. So we could say when x equals 1 and when x equals negative 2, f of x equals g of x. And we have the y values right there as well. Okay, and that would be our full answer. So just going through the problem again, we have the graph of f of x, it's labeled, we have a table to show our work. It's a little bit sloppy, but you got the idea. And then we have the function g of x, we showed our work on the side, labeled arrows for for both functions there, labeled as well. We highlighted the intersection points, wrote down the intersection points, and then read carefully, they just wanted the x values for whatever reason. So we stated those, but we also have the coordinates of the intersections on our page anyway. Okay, thank you for watching, and hopefully this was helpful.